Yo, this Twitter/X post really caught my attention because it's got a lot of really good comments and pretty strong opinions from people within the Marvel Rivals community. It says, which rank do you think is the threshold for being quote unquote good at Marvel Rivals? And they have a picture here of all the ranks, you know, from bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, grandmaster, celestial, eternity, and one above all. So at which point in these ranks do you consider a person to be good at the game? No, I think it's a really good question. My favorite part about it is this produces some really fun, good conversation to have been had, because a lot of people might sit here and assume, oh, you're only good at the game if you're, you know, grandmaster, celestial. If you're in this category are you even good at the game. When in my opinion, so I'll say my opinion first, okay? And then I'm going to go through some of these comments because some of them are wild and I want to hear from you too. My opinion, personally, is high silver or gold. Gold is like the threshold, in my opinion. You're right here, yeah. The threshold of being good. I think it's gold. I think high silver to gold is where I consider somebody to be good at the game, because let's be honest, not many people are going to be up here. In fact, I think diamond, I'm in plat 2 right now. So if you want proof of that, it's right here. I'm platinum 2. I was platinum 1, but I had a rough day, I'll tell you what. But when I got to plat 2, it told me I was higher than like, what, 90% of players? So if 90% of players are sitting beneath the platinum 2 mark, so on this screen, draw a line right here. Most players, 90%, are sitting in this area right here. So obviously, if you're above that, you are automatically good at the game. You're really good. Let's be honest, if you're in the top 10% of any game, you're gonna be good. Like you're just good at the game. Obviously, if you're up here, you're insane. This is where you are masters. You are literally a grandmaster. You are a pro player. You are a very high level player. Duh, of course you're good. So I think this part doesn't matter because that's like an obvious, yes, you are good at the game, you're a grandmaster, celestial. I think it's high silver, gold. And then of course in this area, you're really good at the game. Like you're moving on up. I was one game away from diamond. So I'm right here as of right now between platinum, diamond, and kind of going back and forth. Am I a grandmaster player? Maybe with enough time, maybe. I gotta grind a lot more, but I'm sitting right here right now, right? But this area I consider to be good because, okay, let me go ahead and back myself up, okay? The bronze players, which I think is actually a pretty big majority of players, you're just coming on into ranked. You're learning how the game works. Okay, this team up, what does Invisible Woman do? What does, you know, Moon Knight do? Why does his ult act this way? What's a good counter for it? You're learning all these things, and a lot of times, not only are you learning it, but you don't even know it. You're kind of just going out there and you're doing what you think is best. You're getting kills or trying to as a DPS character. You're learning how your character works. You're learning how your character interacts with other characters and their ults and their moves. And you're just learning a lot. Bronze is more or less, I think, the learning field for a lot of players. And then as they learn, they go, oh, that's a good counter for this. Or, oh, I didn't know that this could happen, so I'm going to do that from now on. And then they get better. And then silver, once you get, you know, you learn a lot, you get into silver, and silver's kind of playing field of, okay, I've learned a lot. I've won, I've lost, I've gone through the trenches. Here I am mastering what I've learned and just getting better at it. You're kind of mastering your craft in silver. And that's why I think once you hit gold, you are, in my head, my opinion, you are now good at the game, because you've gone through these stages of like learning and growing and going, you know, messing up. And, you know, there's a saying out there that says, I failed over and over in my life, and this is why I succeed. And it's the same for this. I know it sounds, you know, too philosophical, but like you fail over and over and over again, you're gonna end up learning, you're gonna end up succeeding from your failures. You know what I mean? So that's why I think you hit gold. You're like, yes, I've learned a lot. I've gone through all these things, and I've just done so much throughout the bronze era, the silver era, and you've just gotten better. You hit gold, you're like, hey, I've done it. You've quite literally got the gold medal. You've gone through these things, and not to say you're terrible if you're in bronze or silver. I'm not saying you're a bad, you're like a dumb player. I'm just saying that you have a lot to learn. You have a lot to grow from, you know, and that's with anybody. So I know a lot of players sit here, right? Because you got to learn, and I think what defines a good player is the ability to learn from your mistakes and implement that learning in your next game. That's what I think makes you good. So like that's why the people up here are so much better. They're so good at the game because they've learned so much and they've implemented that inside of their gameplay. They learned, oh man, Luna has a really good ult. They have a Luna, guys. We need to have something that can, get rid of that so we don't got to deal with it. Then they use Magneto, they use Iron Man, stuff like that to thus counter their opponents. And that's just one small example of things you might learn as you go up and up and up and like learn how to adapt to your opponents. And that's why I think that gold, high silver, low gold right here is the threshold for being good at the game. If you're sitting in bronze silver, don't let that deter you from keep grinding, keep trying, because that is the point. You have to learn, you have to grow, you have to keep trying, you have to keep grinding. They call it a grind for a reason. You got to keep going. So with my opinion out the way, because again, these top 4 or 5 levels, they're good. Yeah, duh. If you're Diamond, Grandmaster, or Celestial, there is no denying that you're good at the game. I think this question is more or less leaned into these kind of like bottom 3 or 4 ranks, bronze to platinum. But again, to platinum, once you hit platinum 2, platinum 1, the game says you're above 90% of players. So if you're top 10%, you're already good. So let's go through these comments. And I think that the top ones here, they got a lot of traction, have kind of an argument to be made, right? Like he says here, the spread right now is thin. At gold 3, I was already higher than like 82% of players. At plat 2, where I am, me too, right now, I'm nearly 90% over most players. Yeah, agreed. So right now, the good threshold is between silver 3 and gold 3. Okay, so yeah, he's kind of sitting right where I was saying, like right between silver, gold. I think more or less gold, but yeah, same thought. I totally agree. And then somebody here says, I don't think people understand what being good at this game is. Counters, combos, tech are still being discovered for characters that were there since season 0. No one is good until this game ages. Shut up and accept it. I do think there is an argument for that, but I also believe that the game has been out for, long enough now. We've figured out a lot of the counters, combos, tech. Like the majority of those said things we've kind of already discovered and shared and have kind of figured out. Obviously with any game, you're going to figure more of that out as the game ages, but I don't think that argument completely means that no one knows what being good really means. And a lot of people sit on the other side. They say, oh no, platinum and up are all pretty much same level, just play sweatier. That is a wild take. So, I mean, maybe I could kind of see that. Platinum and up are all pretty much the same level. They just play sweatier. Because if you think about it, I'm a platinum 2. I was almost at diamond 1. And I know that if I grinded, I had a lot more time and just played for 8 hours a day, I'd probably be diamond right now. I might even be grandmaster. I don't know. But, with enough time and enough grind, if you're already up in platinum diamond, I could see why you might just be already a grandmaster celestial player. Maybe the few exceptions of, being at the level of 1 above all. But at the end of the day, it's just time, right? And a lot of people have full-time jobs. We got to go do stuff. We have a family. We got things we got to worry about. We ain't got the time to grind for 8 to 10 hours a day like some people do. Thus why they're sitting in Grandmaster, Celestial, stuff like that. And then some people are kind of wild. They're like Diamond. I'm like, Diamond, my brother, I just said that, like, you're above 90. In Diamond, you're probably above like 93% of players. That I think that automatically means you're good. I think we're talking about the lower ranks in my opinion. And then statistically, if you hit plat, your boy here, you're a top 5% player. I guess, yeah, but look, diamond, plat is horrible with no bans and no chrono shield. You get to diamond, you're good to me. Okay, so people have a really, I see a lot of diamonds here. I see a lot of diamond words here. Diamond is where you earn the right to ban heroes. So the way I look at it, you're not really showing true skill until about diamond 3 because you have to be a flex to die to the fact that your favorite hero can get banned. So I'd say diamond 3. Okay, so they're saying you need to be flexible enough and good enough to be flexible in diamond 3 because that's where character ban starts. I could kind of see that, but I don't think there's anything wrong with, one trick in a character to diamond. Like, that still means you're good. Like, whether you play tank, DPS, or healer, you're still good enough to win enough that you're getting to diamond 3. I think that means you're good, right? I like this one too. None. We are all trash at it. Dude, respect. Same. This take, I think, has to be trolling. Celestial and Eternity, anything below is bad. You rank up for free in this game. I wouldn't say you rank up for free. You gotta win, my guy. You ever had a rough day where you just lose like 8 games in a row? Tell you what, you're not ranking up in that scenario. So I don't know what he's talking about here. Celestial and Eternity? My brother, that is up here. There's like, what, 1,000 players in the world in this rank or something like that? No, that's crazy. And then we have other takes like this, right? An extremely unbiased opinion from a casual gamer who thinks he is better than he actually is. I respect the honesty, but says silver 100%. But again, silver, you're already like above 60, 75% of players. So that's not a bad argument, honestly. But then, you know, these Grandmaster players, they think that because they're losing in Grandmaster that either their teammates are bad or they're bad. Because you get comments like this where they say, I'm in GM, and it still feels like Pislow, so probably Celestial. So it's got to be, you know, this silver player says, oh no, silver, you're good. This GM player says, no, GM, you're good. So you're going to see a lot of controversy, you know, and maybe bias because that's the rank that they're in, right? Like good in mechanical terms, Diamond, good at the game, GM, you know what I'm saying? Like deep understanding of the game, Celestial, like people are really putting a high emphasis on the higher ranks, which, you know, to be fair, yeah, I mean, they are in a high rank for a reason, but I don't think that we're all considering, again, the fact that most players are down here. I think up here is just an obvious, yeah, you're good. Like, duh, no shit. So right here, where do we consider to be finally good at? Again, I think right here, personally, so between silver, gold, and then from here, you just got to get better and better and grind. It's just these first few trenches that can be a learning curve for a lot of players, where the learning and the growing has to happen. And if you can't get out of that, if you can't learn and adapt at your gameplay, your character usage, whatever, if you can't learn and adapt, then in any game, if you can't learn and adapt, you're a bad player. Fighting games, Call of Duty, Marvel Rivals, Fortnite, whatever you're playing, if you can't learn and adapt and you're losing a lot, you're gonna stay losing. That's just fact. So that's where I stand. But however, regardless of my rant here, I do want to hear from you guys. This is actually a great question. Like, which rank do you think is the threshold for being good at Marvel Rivals? Now, don't let whatever rank you're in, whether it be silver or Grandmaster and higher, don't let your rank make your answer biased. Truly kind of zoom out and look at the community as a whole and all these ranks individually and say, okay, where would anybody consider anybody else to be good in a game like this? Is it silver? Is it diamond? I don't think there's a, you know, hard factual answer. I think a lot of these are either biased or, you know, highly opinionated. But again, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Comment your thoughts down below. I want to hear from each and every single one of you. I read all my comments. I ain't joking. Subscribe here for more Marvel Rivals content if you haven't already. Take it one step at a time and go ahead and click into these videos next for more Marvel Rivals news, guides, reactions, and more.